Hey, Tracy here from Indigo Journey. I'm so happy that you're here and happy to share the second part of this series around how to recover from mistakes. So in the last episode of this conversation, we spoke about pronouns and names, how to recover from mistakes. We spoke about how to practice so that we can reduce making mistakes around people's new names and pronouns, and also to acknowledge that yes, it can be difficult, and also you can do it. That's what I wanted to talk about a little bit more today. You can do it, even though it might be difficult and challenging, and also stop bullying yourself. Stop giving yourself a hard time, because we can't recover from mistakes and change our behavior if we give ourselves a hard time. The least effective way of changing behavior is bullying and being mean and horrible to yourself or to other people. So I think, we can probably all agree that, if we're talking about trying to get somebody else's behavior to change, the last way that we're going to be able to do that is if we bully them, if we judge them, if we criticize them, if we be really harsh. They're not going to listen to us. They're not going to be able to, and they're definitely not going to feel like changing their behavior. It's exactly the same when you do it to yourself. So stop the bullying, stop the mean, stop being unkind to yourself, bring some kindness and compassion to yourself, and, like I said last time, commit yourself to making the change. So when I say commit yourself to making the change, what do I mean? You might be saying, well, I have, and I still keep making mistakes. And I hear you, I do. This commitment to making the change needs to be a little bit more than what it sounds like on the surface. It needs to come, obviously, from your heart. And it also needs to be in a way that you're making the commitment to the change, and you're quitting with the excuses and the reasons for the struggle to make the change, the struggle around making the mistakes, the struggle to get it right. Because while ever we make excuses or keep reiterating the reasons why it's difficult to make the change, then what we're actually doing is sending a very clear message to your subconscious mind that it's okay to keep making mistakes because it's hard. So I just want to be really clear. I know it's hard. It is very hard. When you've been referring to somebody by one name and using one pronoun or one set of pronouns to refer to and about someone, then it's going to be hard to start using a different name and different pronouns. Let's all just, be really clear about that. And because we're clear about it, we don't need to say it anymore. We don't need to tell anybody. We don't need to tell ourselves. Because like I said, while ever we're doing that, we keep giving ourselves permission to keep making the mistakes. I know that might sound a little hard, but it's true. It's just basic human psychology. When we make the commitment to making the change without the ifs and buts and, reasons and excuses as to why it's hard, then it's much easier to focus on that change. Have you ever heard the saying, what you focus on, you get more of? This is the same situation. If you're focusing on the new name and on the pronouns, then that's where your attention's going to be. And so that's what you're going to get more of. If you're focusing your attention on it's so hard because, and you're referring to the old name and the old pronouns all the time, and you're constantly reminding yourself of how difficult it is and all of the reasons why it's difficult, then that's where your attention goes. So your attention focuses on the old name, the old pronouns, and the challenge and the difficultness of it. And look, again, I don't want to come across as I'm minimizing the challenge. It's absolutely true that it's difficult. I've made mistakes myself before, and I know how difficult it is. My own brother changed his name so many years ago, before people were really talking about, changing names and pronouns around gender identity. His was for a different reason. But I found it really difficult, and so did everybody else in his life. And I also know that it was really upsetting for him when it felt to him like people weren't trying. Now, I learned very quickly by my observations of his behavior that it was really important to him, and so therefore I had to really commit myself to the change. And once I made that decision, it was amazing how quick it was. And so I had that kind of personal anecdotal evidence, but then working with so many different parents, working with teachers in schools and a variety of other different people who have come to me because they're struggling and they just don't know how to get their head around remembering to use the correct name and pronouns. I just happened to say this to one person one time, and it was like a light bulb moment for them. And so then I tried it again and again. It was like these light bulbs going off for people. And what I've learned from people is this conversation has made the world of difference, because yes, it's hard. And also, you can do hard things. You do it all the time. You will have probably a million different examples in your life where you've made changes. They've been difficult and you've been able to do it. Again, I'm going to reiterate, what I encourage you to do is focus your attention on the change that you're wanting to make. That is the new name and pronouns of your loved ones, not on the difficulty, not on the challenge, because you've done harder things. You have, and you know you have. And so when you can, come to yourself with kindness and compassion and remind yourself of that, I'm capable of doing things that are challenging. I'm capable of remembering new things. I'm capable of creating change in my life. I've done it before. And this is really important because I love my child or my loved one. And I know that this is important to them, and I know that it makes a significant difference to them in their life when I'm able to get it right. So I'm making that commitment. What do you think? It sounds much more approachable when you look at it like that, doesn't it? Let me know how you go. I really look forward to hearing how much this changes your experience. And remember, if you didn't watch the last video, go back and check it out. But remember that, when we do make mistakes, a quick apology and moving on. We'll see you in the next one, where we talk about how to recover from other mistakes. Take care. See you next time.